With Deshaun Watson now a member of the Cleveland Browns, what do you think his impact is going to be for the Browns this season and subsequent seasons afterward?
Well, I'm just going to be straightforward and say the AFC just continues to get that much stronger. Now, I know that Deshaun was already in the AFC, but like Kyle said, he was playing for a pretty irrelevant team that kind of dwindled as the seasons and years went forward. Now you add him to the mix of Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, David Njoku, now the recently signed Amari Cooper, a very potent and strong offensive line, and then a top 15 ranked defense. All of these things are pretty much something that Deshaun Watson never had outside of maybe DeAndre Hopkins being, arguably the best receiver in the league at the time when they were paired together. But Houston's offensive line, since he's gotten there, has been longly irrelevant. Their defense has never been anything to brag about, and then their running attack has never been anything significant. So you can say that he didn't just go to a better team; he got put in a better career situation. And Kyle alluded to the price. We're talking about $230 million fully guaranteed. That's absolutely ridiculous. That's the most money I've ever heard being fully guaranteed in the sport of football. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying he won in every single category that you can possibly win, and the fact that he was alleviated of any criminal charges or relieved or deemed innocent, and then multiple reports were surfacing further as the his attorneys were coming out and saying that some of these women just said things so they can get money. Some of these women, even though these charges were going on, were still requesting to meet with Deshaun. So it's all things considered, it's looking very well. He was, like the country always says, innocent until proven guilty. And now Deshaun Watson's got a full restart in Cleveland, and it looks to be a very humble and winning situation with everything he has around him. So kudos to Deshaun. I got them going into the AFC North very competitive. I mean, at this point now, you have Deshaun Watson in Cleveland, Lamar Jackson hopefully being healthy out there in Baltimore. We don't know the situation right now in Pittsburgh. I know that Mitch Trubisky is the starting quarterback right now, but they still have a first round pick, so we don't know if they're going to end up drafting Malik Willis. And then, of course, you know that Cincinnati has Joe Burrow. My biggest thing right now for Cleveland is Cleveland gets a full offseason with Deshaun when they made this trade. So now they have every ounce of the NFL draft to focus on whatever they have left in picks because we all know that they gave up a shit ton to get them. But whatever money is left, you acquire some different pieces, and then you actually go into OTAs, non-mandatory mini camps, and everything like that with Deshaun Watson fully focused and ready to play. So I think that this offseason is going to be huge and pivotal for Deshaun. And the Cleveland Browns are poised to make a decent run in the AFC playoffs because Lord knows they got some potential. And now with Deshaun Watson, you can sit here and say that they're even better situated than they were Baker Mayfield because let's be frank, Deshaun is 10 times better the quarterback than Baker Mayfield ever was.
Well, Kevin, I got to agree with you on this one. I think the Browns are instantly playoff contenders now that they have Deshaun Watson in the fold. And, when you add Deshaun Watson to any team, I mean, it's an instant game changer just because he's one of the most athletic quarterbacks that we've seen in this generation. And it's really that dual threat option that he presents to opposing defenses that makes him a nightmare scenario to go up against. I mean, when he's faced with a situation of being able to pass the ball, he could pass the ball effectively. And now, if the play breaks down, he can use his legs, he can use his feet, bounce outside the pocket, and be able to pick up good chunks of yards on a consistent basis. Now, I think the situation that Deshaun Watson is going in with the Browns this year, I think it's a favorable one because when I look at the cachet that he has around him, this is a pretty solid core of guys to go with. You got Amari Cooper that was brought into the fold this offseason via free agency. You've got David Njoku. You've got Kareem Hunt. You have Nick Chubb. This is a situation where I don't know. I don't think that it's actually going to be all on Deshaun's shoulders just because when you have that running back combo with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt, that takes a lot of pressure off of Deshaun's shoulders because there are going to be games where Deshaun doesn't have to go out there and pass the ball 30, 30, 40, 50 times a game because he could rely on that run game that the Browns have at their disposal and be able to offset Deshaun going out there and really single handedly carrying that offense to a victory. I think when it comes to the situation that Deshaun's dealing with as far as this lawsuit goes, I think this is going to be something that's just going to be kind of on the back burner moving forward. I think depending on how this plays out, more than likely this is going to end in a civil suit where he may have to pay money to some of these women. But dodging, the criminal aspect of it, because the jury didn't find any sort of reason to levy criminal charges against him. That takes all the weight off of his shoulders, as far as I'm concerned. I think he's going to be extremely focused when it comes to being ready for the Browns this upcoming season. And Kevin, it's like you said, now that he has a full off season to work with the Browns, that's huge. If this was a situation where he got traded in July or August, there's a limited time frame to be able to get the chemistry to mesh quickly. Well, now he has April, May, June, July, August to be able to work out with the wide receivers, possibly the running backs that they're going to have this season. That gives them a lot more time to be able to bond, be able to mesh, and hopefully lock down the chemistry going into training camp, and then hopefully going into the regular season as well. When I look at the Browns, I think they had to make this trade because they just weren't really set on Baker here. I think Baker was kind of, I don't really know how to say it. I would just say that they were looking at better options than what Baker had at that current moment in time. And with Baker's recent injury history, I think they looked at Deshaun and they had to pull the trigger on this trade no matter what the draft capital they gave up was. And Deshaun's basically one of the most, I would say, one of the most active, sought out trade pieces in recent NFL history. And I think the Browns basically hit a home run on this one, despite what they gave up in picks. So I think the Browns are going to be ready to rock and roll this upcoming season. They're going to be in the mix in a very competitive AFC North, right alongside the Ravens and the Bengals. I'm not going to say that they're just going to cakewalk to a division title. They're definitely going to be in the mix. And I do see them not only being a playoff team, but I do think that they can make some noise if they end up getting a good seed going into January. So, all in all, I think the Browns are in a great position here. Now they just got to go out and make the plays that need to be made during the season, and hopefully it works out in their favor. But as far as the Deshaun trade goes, it's a good one, and I think the Browns are right back in the mix. That's just how I see it.